Goffstown Fire Department and EMS responds to nearly 3,000 calls every single year. To remain in proper operation, vehicles must be properly maintained, repaired, and replaced on a regular, scheduled basis. The National Fire Protection Association has established the NFPA 1900, which outlines basic standards regarding fire vehicles. While these standards are not mandated, they are recommended. NFPA 1900 states that recommended lifetime for a fire engine is 15 years, after which the vehicle should be moved to reserve status. At 25 years old, NFPA recommends removing the vehicle from service completely. Replacing a fire engine is a long process. Fire engines and ambulances take at least 2 years to build, and often more. As an example, the 2010 tower truck took 4 years to build. Fire trucks are made to order as manufacturers do not keep stock of them. A benefit of this is that the Goffstown Fire Department will be able to work directly with the manufacturer to completely customize the vehicle to their needs. This video will talk about the different options available to the fire department and highlight what Goffstown's specific needs are. Goffstown Fire Department is able to choose between 3 different types of aerial devices: ladder, platform, or water tower. Let's break down the differences of each type of aerial device. An aerial ladder device comes equipped with a basic ladder that can be used to climb to elevated locations. Ladders have the ability to extinguish, rescue, and ventilate. The advantage to using an aerial ladder is since they are smaller and thinner, they are typically preferred where there are narrow streets or small openings like trees. They can generally support around 250 to 500 pounds. The disadvantage to using an aerial ladder is that if an individual being rescued from a building is injured, elderly, or immobilized for any reason, they would be unable to climb down a ladder to safety. An aerial platform is like a ladder, but instead has a platform on the top. Platforms provide a safe area to ventilate, extinguish, and rescue from. One of the main benefits to aerial platforms is that it provides easier rescuing of low mobility or unconscious people. They can usually support around 750 pounds. An aerial water tower is simply for elevated fire suppression only. They are used primarily in areas where rescues are unlikely or non-existent, like fuel storage areas. Aerial configuration relates to where on the fire truck the aerial device is mounted. There are 3 options: rear mount, midship, and tillers. Rear mount is the term used to describe aerial devices mounted in the rear. Generally, rear-mounted aerials are shorter in overall length than their mid-mounted counterparts. They are usually the tallest out of the 3 options. Rear mounts are preferable because of their extended reach, but can struggle in areas with low-hanging branches, power lines, or other objects in the way. Midship is the term used to describe aerial devices that are mounted in the middle of the vehicle. A midship is typically short in travel height. The short height allows them to better fit underneath power lines, low branches, and other obstacles, however, are limited with their reach capabilities. Tillers are slightly different to midship and rear mount. Instead of only the front axle steering, both the front and rear axles are operated by 2 separate drivers sat in the front and in the back, with the rear of the vehicle articulating like a trailer. A tiller is designed to easily maneuver around narrow city streets. With the added articulation, they are typically longer. The travel height is a middle ground between the heights of both a midship and rear mount. Tillers have the highest turning radius, convenient for small city streets, but require 2 drivers to operate. Despite requiring 2 operators, the benefit to tillers is that they have nearly 2 times the storage capacity. To put it simply, each configuration has its own benefits and drawbacks. It is important for the Goffstown Fire Department to carefully consider the pros and cons to each configuration in order to choose the best option for Goffstown's needs. A non-quint fire truck has no water pump, booster tank, or supply hose. Therefore, it is not capable of carrying out fire suppression. It is a more specialized truck with rescue, salvage, and overhaul capabilities that is usually found in larger departments where specialty apparatus are more feasible. A Quint fire truck is one that combines the water pumping capabilities of a fire engine and a ladder truck. The name Quint implies the 5 features to carry out most firefighting functions: a pump, a water tank, a fire hose, an aerial device, and a ground ladder. Quint configurations are most versatile and the most common configuration for most fire trucks. Both single and tandem rear axles have their benefits. A single rear axle provides better turning radius but limits the total gross vehicle weight. They also have less braking power. Dual rear axles have the benefit of better braking power going down the hills of Goffstown but have decreased turning radius and increased wear on the rear forward tires. Cab height impacts the reach of the aerial, especially on a mid-mount apparatus. This vehicle needs to be large enough to hold from 2 to 10 personnel, depending on the needs of the call. It also needs to hold EMS and engine equipment. Chassis length and turning radius will all be taken into account since excessive length makes it more difficult to drive and more likely for collisions to happen. Goffstown's topography, especially its narrow, hilly roads, require higher horsepower, lower end torque transmissions, and better braking setups. Vehicle height is not a concern except for low-hanging branches and station bay doors. Specifically in Goffstown, one of the concerns is not vertical reach but instead horizontal reach. Especially in more rural areas, houses are farther away from the street. Landscaping and extreme sloping can make it unsafe for ground ladders to be placed, making an aerial device much safer. Additionally, architecture can present a greater challenge when using ground ladders, especially homes with steep roofs, metal roofs, or multiple roof lines. There are 6 main functions of the aerial apparatus that the Goffstown Fire Department intends to use this vehicle for: fire suppression, elevated master stream, elevated fire suppression, ventilation, technical rescue, and direct rescues. The Goffstown Fire Department is working towards selecting the best aerial apparatus option for Goffstown's needs so that the department can be fully prepared in order to continue to serve the town of Goffstown. A full-length presentation which further explains the goals of the Goffstown Fire Department is available at the Fire Department section of the goffstownnh.gov website. Any additional questions can be directed to Deputy Fire Chief Ben Selleck.